Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome on in, everybody. Happy Friday to you. We made it, JJ. Give yourself a hand, guy.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's a Friday. We're back to the weekend. Thanks for being with us on the program. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Jeremiah, Jensen, Alex, Kirry. We're here at the warehouse in Salt Lake City, 1825 South, 300 West. I'm going to give out that address right now, and I'm going to be giving it out all day long because – and you notice the buzz that's going on right now around the store, JJ. You know what that is? Desperate prices. There are a lot of people taking advantage of the fact that the warehouse is closing forever, but not yet. They got to get rid of all this stuff. And we're going to chat with Tom Curl in just a few moments, as we do when we come down to the warehouse. But we're glad to be here. We're glad to see Tom. We're glad to see the deals going out. Shout out to Jeff and Cohen. Jeff finally pulled the trigger on a new mattress, and he just saved his marriage, I think. That's what happened.
15 years is too long.
Can't have a mattress for that long, all right?
And he just walked out of here with the steal of a deal. And
Yeah.
there's a lot more deals to be had here. If you are been waiting and holding out to buy some furniture, mattresses, love seats, whatever it is that you're in need of, now is the time. Get down here right now.
Here's the setup, too. The warehouse is set up to where the mattresses of all sizes and shapes and firmnesses and all of them they're all lined up on the side, stacked to the ceiling of the warehouse. That's how many there are. So there are deals to be had. And then here in front in the store, you're going to see all the upholstery, all the sofas and loves, more upholstery than they've ever had because they've got to get it out of here. So awesome time to take advantage of it. Let's get it going. We've got tons on a Friday to get to, JJ. First of all, I'm disappointed that there's no CEO getting busted on the kiss cam today for us to be able to get awkward with like we did yesterday.
We need more drama.
I want the tea. You know what I mean? Like
Yesterday felt like a TMZ day.
It was so weird.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
But we all got sucked into it. It was kind of fun.
I loved it. It was really fun.
The memes I loved even more.
Well, those keep going, right? That just keeps going.
The one you sent me last night was Skeletor embracing
Skeletor and He-Man
at the Coldplay concert.
I was like, and hold on, our producer, Alex Napolis.
Weird but funny.
Alex, be honest, did you know who those two characters were who I sent the picture of?
Just from the memes. I recognize them from memes.
Okay, so
you don't even know what He-Man, the Master of the Universe, is.
Right. No, it's and the meme he's talking about, I'm sure, Alex, too, is like when Skeletor gives you breaks weird news and then goes until next time and runs away. Yeah,
that and the Hey Now song, you know.
Oh yeah. So He-Man and the amount of people putting up the pictures of the CEO and his little tryst. And then they'd have Patrick Mahomes is the guy in the back, and then they'd have Travis Kelce looking to pad stats is in the front, and all sorts of different versions of how this thing played out. The internet won yesterday, JJ.
It was fun to be a part of it.
This is good to be
at the expense of some billionaire
CEO.
Oh,
listen,
I don't even know if he's a billionaire or not.
Not anymore.
His wife might
got to split that thing up now. And if you're smart, you're the other lady, you go,
his wife might be close.
He took advantage of his position as a CEO. I felt pressured into the affair. Give me my money. That's what it turns into. All right. We got lots to go on a Friday. We've got tons to bring up, tons of things for us to jam on. And let's jump in right here. Our program brought to you by G2G Bars, all natural ingredients and no preservatives. Make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. Give it a shot today. Costco, Holiday Oil, Maverick, Associated Foods, and many other retailers in the refrigerated section. Let's kick things off as we always do with the cut. Let's jump in right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Thank heavens that we have, if we were to look at it by the way, the cut this hour brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your local trusted financial fiduciaries in retirement. TrajanWealth.com, that's TRAJAN Wealth.com. Thank heavens there's a power struggle between the two most powerful conferences in college football. Everybody, at least for the time being, I want you to thank the Big Ten for looking out for you. All right? Now, they're looking out for them more than they are anything, but I think it benefits everybody. And here's why. Greg Sankey, the all-powerful, the all-mighty, he's Skeletor, right? He's the Skeletor of college football.
What does that make Tony Petiti?
I guess the
Cobra Commander?
I was going to say, it's not like they're both.
Since we're using the
villains
1980s
from the 80s
toy analogy,
you know what?
Here, I don't know what else to.
I think that's an accurate portrayal.
Okay.
And what is in the
an evil empire?
And then what's like what are the G5 guys? Cringer? Oh, gee, Adam, I don't know what I want to do. Why was he such a?
That's Conference USA. Is that what you're saying?
Conference USA. They go along with it. And until we need him to turn into a real tiger, they won't. But I don't know if the Big Ten, they are refusing to jump on board with the SEC until the SEC mans up and plays a 9-team schedule.
I love it.
And
good.
And you know what? Greg Sankey suddenly, wow, he suddenly is like, no, I'm a fan of the 9-game on the 9-team schedule. For as much as everybody, and who did we have on a couple of weeks ago? It was at Big 12 Media Day. It was like, I'm so sick of these conference commissioners. I think it might have been one of the coaches that we had on, or one of the athletic directors. Like, I'm sick of these guys getting on going, we play an 8-game schedule because it's just so much better football, and you guys have no idea what playing a tough schedule is like. And then we all get fooled into thinking that this is what the new norm is. Because playing a 4-team so right now everybody plays basically a 3-team out-of-conference schedule.
Right.
In the Big 12, in the Big 10, and all the other conferences.
ACC.
The thing is that and I've told you this, the SEC, this is a model that they used to give themselves an advantage for the 4-team playoff. And they think that they want to try to get away with the same exact thing for the 12-team playoff, for the possible 16-team playoff going forward, because it's one less game. That one game could be that edge for them to get that 4th, heaven forbid, 5th team into the conversation in a 16-team playoff.
Would you rather play Furman in November or Georgia?
Of course, of course.
Taking Furman.
Yeah, and so, gosh, Furman. What are they? What's their mascot?
Paladins? Did I get that right?
I think you did actually. What is a paladin? Nobody knows to this day. Nobody
knows.
It's some religious figure of some sort. I don't know. I'm not sure either.
Something on video games. It's kind of weird.
So, Greg Sankey has had to basically say, yeah, we'll do the 9-team playoff. And guess what? The worst part about this was that somebody tried to be like, yeah, but our partners at some of these other schools who, we bless with these funds when they come in and get their butts handed to them in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Like, don't do this thing where you're acting like, well, we have been supporting this school over here as a charitable situation, but I guess we're going to have to turn them down.
Schedule that as one of your 3 games.
Do it. If you're going to go soft, then fine. We, of course, we're more along the lines of, hey, your 3 out of conference schedules, make it at least in the Big 10 or in the Big 12, for example, they're playing at least 10 Power 4 teams every year on the docket. Everybody should be playing that. And I don't care if the other 2, fine. For now, we can get weak on it. I still think you need to walk away from the FCS schools. I still think that New Mexico State should never make a trip to Tuscaloosa.
Right.
I still think that there should be don't have things like that unless it's the very front end of the season, and it's almost like
definitely New Mexico State should not be in Tuscaloosa in November.
No, that's what I'm saying, which is when they're playing them this year. And so I think that a lot of teams are going that route where they go, let's just go easy, let's get this thing going. And if the SEC is playing a 9-game schedule, it's not fun to talk about if you're Greg Sankey, because you have to acknowledge the fact that there are going to be years that you probably miss out on one of your teams getting into the college football playoff because you make this decision, but it's the only way to be able to get along. If everybody else is playing, and I don't care what metrics you show, because remember they rolled out that social media post with all well, here are the real numbers on how hard it is to play in the SEC. No one cares. If you're playing an 8-game schedule in conference, it feels like the equity there is not – it's not equitable. Everybody else is playing something different, and I get it. In a conference like the Big 12, by the way, until you get some top-heavy, really, really good blockbuster teams, they're going to need a boost like this because playing a 9-game schedule against a bunch of teams that are about the same talent level is a very hard proposition to get into the college football playoff with.
If BYU last year played an 8-game Big 12 schedule and played Utah Tech instead of Kansas in November, they would have been in the Big 12 championship game and they would have gone to the college football playoff. So why does the SEC get away with this? It's ridiculous.
Because
everybody should be playing the same amount of games.
Of course.
Everybody should be playing the same amount of games. The Big 12, as you says, is doing the 9-game thing. Everybody, the Big 10 is. So it's not an even playing field. You're not being judged by the same quality of what's the word I'm looking for here? The same standard.
Right.
Standard. That's what
yeah.
I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You're not all being judged by the same standard because you're playing different schedules. You're playing different things. Yet the SEC has the nerve to come out and basically, I guess gaslight us into thinking that they're playing a harder schedule. No, you're playing one less conference game against. Maybe it's Georgia was going to have to play South Carolina. I don't have the schedule. From,
sure.
I don't know what other great SEC team would have been on their schedule. Instead, they're playing an FCS opponent.
Right.
You're missing an opportunity to go prove yourself when the other conferences have teams that are, and playing a gauntlet in their schedule against teams that know them really well and scout them really well. Also, I'll mention that I have heard this and read this, that Greg Sankey actually wants the SEC to go to the 9-game schedule. He's working for his bosses who don't want it. And there is a belief that this Big Ten stand with this playoff deal might be what Greg Sankey needs to get his bosses, which is the coaches and the athletic directors and school presidents of the SEC, to bend on this and to finally go to the 9-game schedule. It's like, okay, well, the Big Ten will negotiate with us here, but if they're saying they'll do the 5+11, but we have got to play 9 games.
Are we not thinking of a format that like should be on the table? Are we looking at this the wrong way? The head football coach at Missouri, Eli Drinkwitz, who's considered the Tobias Funke of the SEC coaches, and somebody
had a wild day the other day.
Somebody did that on the art. Somebody put that as an article.
Quotes.
Oh, the quotes are. They're singularly like they're on their own, and no one knows where they're coming from.
Wasn't his first line walking in? Hey, don't ask him about the Epstein files.
Right. Yes, there was that, and then there was, he always seems to say
start
something.
off SEC media days.
Now he is.
Don't ask me about the Epstein files.
I think it's a guy who likes he's like, I want attention for me and my program.
Yeah, he's doing it.
I'm going to do it in a weird way though.
You are Missouri. You got to. You're in a tough conference. You got to stand out somehow.
Missouri is not a bad football team, and Eli Drinkwitz has had a pretty good run so far.
He's doing a phenomenal job.
I know, and I don't want to – but the guy is he's a certified weirdo, which is what we need in college football, by the way. And that's what we want at media days, by the way, too. Any media day where a guy shows up.
Oh, there's no weirdo college football coaches out there besides Eli Drinkwitz?
No, that's what I'm saying. Those are the ones that are fun.
It's an eccentric group.
Listen, may he rest. We no longer have Mike Leach to carry the banner.
we need
more people who are buying into that. So one thing that he brought up was, I don't know how you do it, but we've got to eliminate the selection committee. We've got to figure out a system. And, again, it goes back to maybe whatever a computer could do or whatever. I think you're never going to be able to get out of the element of some biased human helping to make a decision. But he brought up, why don't you have a play-in that's a little bit more – instead of making it officially the playoff, what you do is – it was basically there's some auto bids, and then there's a total of 30 teams who are basically vying for the spot to get into those final 12 or 16 or whatever it might be.
This is similar to the Joel Klatt model that he's talked about.
Kind of a play-in situation.
Yeah, and turning conference championship weekend
eliminating
into playoff play-in.
Yes, and he goes, and this is a guy who, by the way, would give his left arm for an SEC, well, and even to play in the SEC championship game and to win an SEC title. And he goes, look, sacrifice the SEC championship game. By the way, how many times do we have, and this happens in basketball too, it's always funny to me, when we have a conference champion out of one conference, and then the person who wins the national championship is actually got fourth place in the conference tournament. In the football version of that last year was Ohio State not winning the Big Ten championship. And
they were third in the Big Ten.
And they were running, and they ran to the national championship, and everybody kind of knew they were going to be the ones who were going to win, especially after – they eliminated Oregon from this whole deal. So, in the end, I think that having multiple options it doesn't just need to be the 12-team playoff. It doesn't just need to be the 16-team playoff. Look at it as something totally different. Figure out a way that we can watch high-quality football, and then we won't and we'll have fewer opportunities to argue those pain points of why didn't X team get in. College basketball is funny because the subjectivity of the committee to not just have the 68-team tournament, to have the last 4 in, the first 4 out, the last 4 out, the last 4 in, like all those things that you go, what are we doing here? And why do you need to clarify, like, oh, but they were one of the last 4 in? Take that back to the school that you went to, that you guys were one of the last 4 to be eliminated, to be not talked about in this conversation. So football needs to find whatever version of that it is, and this is a great step in that direction of just saying, look, let's standardize it here. Even if you don't feel like that the competition is standard, it never will be, by the way. There will never be an era of college football where you go, well, the Big Ten and the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12, they all play very similar schedules. It's as good as you can do, and these are competitive games at the highest level, talented athletes. There's a reason that they're in those power conferences. And even if you want to say it just means more in the SEC, it doesn't mean that you're actually a better team. It doesn't actually mean that you have more quality across the entire conference. And so I think that's the difference is when you play a 9-game schedule inside your conference, you're doing what everybody else is doing. And that looks like you're not trying to game the system or trying to cheat, which is what it always feels like the SEC is doing in that second to last week in November. And now we eliminate that. I hope that that's what they're going to end up doing. Walk away from these ridiculous games mid-November and get yourself a schedule with a 9-team, conference schedule and conference slate. And then everybody else can just say, and then when you do get 6 teams in, you go, hey, you guys are the ones who wanted this system. Fine. Beat it. And the SEC will always have the most teams in. Them and the Big Ten will always have the most teams in.
Right.
Until further notice, right? Until these other conferences show up and start competing on a different level.
I want to see a show. And I think fans want to be entertained. And I don't think so-and-so playing Furman in November is it. So let's create a standard where everybody is the same. If you're all playing in the same tournament at the end of the year, which is the college football playoff, the standard for qualification should be the same. It's not fair that the SEC has a different scheduling model. Mm-hmm. It's not fair because it benefits them. And it's a week off in November. So I don't understand, and I understand why they're digging in because this is a clear advantage they have that they don't want to give up. So I love that the Big Ten is now in a position to force them to do so. And in order for the SEC to get what they want, the Big 12 has to force them to do what they want them to do. And this is good for the Big Ten, too. If I'm the Big Ten, and this is probably ticking off the Big Ten more than it is here in Big 12 country, because the Big Ten has legitimate national championship contenders, plural, and they're having to play the 9-game schedule.
Right.
They're going through the 9-game gauntlet, while the SEC team that might be meeting them in the playoffs and in the championship game didn't have to play that same standard of scheduling. So it is a good thing to go make this full circle, go back to the start of our conversation. This is a good thing that there are 2 powers that be here instead of just one. There is some checks and balances here with the Big Ten and the SEC. I don't love it that it's 2, but it's better than it just being 1. Because then the SEC, if they were the one, or the Big Ten, if they were the one, ends up being the bully. And it would ruin college football as we know it. It would. And you get to the point where, well, I'm not – if you're the Big 12 and the ACC, well, we'll just do our own playoff. We'll just be – that could absolutely happen if you have one conference that's trying to bully everybody else and doing what they want to do for their best. Because everybody ultimately is going to look out for their own self-interest. That's how we got here in the first place. That's why there was all this college football realignment over the last 15 years, was each and every school and conference looking out for themselves. The Pac-12 broke up because USC was looking out for themselves.
Yep.
Right? Otherwise,
having
the
conversations,
Pac-12 would still exist.
Cheating on the rest of the conference behind their backs.
Exactly.
And they did. They go, I found something better over here. And that day, June 30th, 2021, was the wildest day to this day that I've ever covered sports in my life. You think about when we got that news, because I think it was June 30th. Yeah. Was it 21 or 22? Well, I think it was I think it's 21. But I just remember how crazy it was because USC and UCLA, I remember exactly where I was. We were doing I think we were at a barbecue place doing a remote, and it was like Holy cow.
It was 22. June 30th, 2022.
June 30th of 22, it changed everybody's world. And at that point, BYU had gotten that invite, I think, in 21, right, to join the Big 12. And then it got really weird because then the Pac-12 was becoming non-existent. And then suddenly you're like, okay, so what's the landscape of a power conference? And it's just wild that it's turned into this. But you know what? There's a moment where we can all look around and go, hey, hit the reset button a little bit. Can it improve the quality of college football right now? Can this make a better situation for us as watchers of the game? Because the reality is you can bring up that the student athletes and the coaches and all those things, yeah, it matters. But you know what? If there aren't eyeballs watching it, if there aren't fans out there who want a piece of this, it doesn't happen. There's no TV deal to make this money go in the world of this crazy money go around. So I look at it and I think to myself, I'm glad that the Big Ten stood on a power position and said, we're not getting in bed with you guys and pretending like we're going to be the big bad conference with you guys until you make the decision to do what we all do. Because the Big Ten's like, I don't care what you say. You can say it matters more or that you guys have a tougher schedule. But us playing Indiana in November versus playing not even like a Furman or a Mercer, but even just like a, if they end up calling up UNLV, sorry to pick on Dan Mullen's guys, but, middle of November, you'd much rather
play.
Or
La Tech.
Somebody who, some G5, some Sun Belt team, whatever it is. Sneak in Toledo, Akron, UTSA. Come to town, whatever.
Yeah.
UTSA actually is kind of scary to me.
They probably wouldn't schedule UTSA.
No, they wouldn't. It's too. No, but that's the thing. But that's how you know that this is bullcrap because they go.
They're not even scheduling those teams.
Right. It's like make it good, but not too good.
Yeah.
Like we need to kind of take the week.
No.
bit.
FCS only.
They're
or New Mexico State.
They scheduled an extra win.
Yeah.
They didn't schedule an opponent.
No, they did. They scheduled an extra win, Alex, and they scheduled a week off.
Yes. Yeah, there are two. Yeah,
in
exactly.
November
because you can roll out your
for a lot of their players. It's a bye week.
Yeah, you roll out your starting quarterback, and then he
ridiculous.
plays till the middle of the second quarter when it's 48.
It's a ridiculous advantage,
6.
and it has to go away.
All right, we'll come right back. We've got around the corner update on what's going on at the Open Championship. Our guy Tony Finau, he's right there, man.
Yeah,
as much as you can be right there against the world number one. Who seems very
I want to
unstoppable.
ask Bob if even he thinks it's over.
Okay, all right. 2 rounds in, Scheffler with the lead, and it's he is really, really good right now. He's playing loose, but we'll get an update about the Open Championship next. 1825 South, 300 West is where we are at the warehouse. 1825 South, 300 West. Look for the going out of business signs that are right out in front, and you're going to see it, and you can take advantage of those deals going on right now. We'll come right back. More to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex. Presented by G2G Bars.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This Open Championship update is brought to you by Mountain Land Supply, Zions Bank, Black Desert Resort, Hoops Vision, and Siegfried and Jensen. And now, Real Golf Radio's Bob Casper.
All right, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Friday. Thanks for being with us on the program. Woke up this morning. You know what's nice about not having to watch the Open Championship? I do like watching it, but I just don't have the guts to stay up past 1 a.m. I'm a late night guy. I think you're the same kind of guy as me, but like at some point when the first tee offs of the day, all the tee times are like between 12:30 and 1:30, and I'm like, I should probably get a life and not watch this during the middle of the night. But the benefit is waking up. The benefit is waking up and going, oh, that's nice. Looks like Tony's making a move. Oh, Tony's already done. Tony Finau finishes a 3 under 68 today to go with his 1 under yesterday, and he gets himself into the conversation. He is currently 10th. And when I say 10th, he's actually tied for 10th. He's ahead of guys like Rory McIlroy, Lee Westwood. I want to say like John Rahm is in that group right behind him too.
Ludwig
Oberg.
Yeah. Xander Schauffele.
Tony's having a great freaking tournament so far.
Best golf he's played all year.
The problem is the golf world number one Scotty Scheffler, who it's dangerous because he's doing what, and I thought about this today, JJ. You tell me if this is the correct kind of guess here. He's doing what I think people thought Rory was going to do, which is I'm playing loose now because I'm so freaking good, and I've got this. When Rory won the Masters, you were like, okay, he got that monkey off his back.
Yeah.
Now he can play loose and just play awesome golf, and he's phenomenal, and he really is. He still is. But Scotty Scheffler, who's like, man, golf's not even that important to me, right? He has this thing this week. He goes, golf's not even like the biggest deal. I've got a kid. I got a wife. I got these things. I'm like, well, it's a pretty big deal. Like it's kind of your livelihood. And when I say kind of, I mean like you're your own economy now. You're running your own world economy as a singular person, as the number one in the world golfer. And he ends the day, the only one in double digits under par, 10 under. He shoots a 64 today, JJ.
Insane.
And so the world number one is decidedly the world number one right now because he's just absolutely dominant. And I just you can't help but respect the fact that this guy's on a tear right now, that you don't know how long that's going to last. We've got to see the era of Tiger Woods. Is this our new version of Tiger Woods?
It's starting to feel like it.
The dominance hasn't been there since a guy like – we've seen these one-off guys who win. The guys who win majors here and there, and they're really good. And maybe we thought the same thing when you start to see guys win. But Scotty Scheffler's at a consistent level right now that's beyond of something that we've seen in quite some time. So I think it's pretty awesome. By the way, next Wednesday is a Win Ticket Wednesday on the program. We get to make the announcement right here. You ready? Jason Aldean, the Full Throttle Tour coming July 26th to Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. We're giving away tickets all day long there for our Win Ticket Wednesday. And I think today's a Free Ticket Friday, which we're going to be doing some tickets in just a little while. So, JJ, 64 for Scotty Scheffler, though. And Tony Finau's having a great tournament so far, so there you go.
My thoughts on Scotty is, first of all, he was just messing with us earlier this week, right? That's like this reverse psychology thing. Like, this is not that big of a deal.
I really don't. I really think he's playing is so loose, and I think he kind of does believe. Listen, I know what it takes to win, and I'm at this like existential thing right now where I'm going, man. Yeah, I'm a pretty good golfer, and I know how to do that whole thing, but, like, this isn't the most important thing.
I'm so much better than everybody else when it comes to golf. I'm starting to try to figure out how to solve the world's problems. So don't bother me with the golf questions right now.
Spoken like a guy who's already
talk about things that really matter.
Spoken like a guy who's already won $20 million on tour this year. Like, his caddy
$20 million this year. Listen, he's 36 holes away from winning the Kirry Grand Slam before his 30th birthday. This is a run of dominance that is on track with a Tiger Woods.
Yep.
With a Jack Nicklaus. This is one of the best golfers in the world, and one of the best golfers. He is the best golfer in the world.
Yep.
And this is one of the best golfers we've ever seen. And he's making it look easy, and he's dominating. For him to go out and shoot a 64 today, I know he's only one shot ahead of Matt Fitzpatrick. I know that. 2 shots ahead of Brian Harmon. And yet it feels like it's over. It feels like it's over. I just can't see him, as strong as he is mentally and with the game he's playing right now, faltering this weekend. It just feels like the lead's going to grow a bit. And now I do hope that somebody emerges and challenges him. And maybe it's a Matt Fitzpatrick. Brian Harmon's already won an Open Championship, right? So these are guys that can do that. That's how confident I am in Scotty Scheffler right now. I'm shocked when he doesn't win. That's how dominant good he is, and that's how it used to be with Tiger Woods.
Do you think that – I mean, we don't see Scotty suddenly fall off either. He usually, might be a few shots behind coming into the weekend, and then he just slowly starts hunting you down on Saturday, and then on Sunday he just puts the screws down. And
I'm not saying he's perfect, but has he ever had, a monumental meltdown?
No.
I mean, Rory's one of the best golfers of all time.
But he's had
monumental meltdowns. Yeah. It happens.
And
it's not a criticism. It happens. I don't remember Scotty's monumental meltdown. Rory's
playing some of the best golf he's ever played in his life right now, and he's decidedly not up to the task with week for week with Scotty Scheffler. Even though he's got the best average score on tour this year, Rory does. He still is second in the money list. He's still obviously
but when we talked to Bob earlier in the week, he talked about that. I said, how's Rory doing? And he's like, he's actually,
Right. Everybody thought because
doing all right.
because the major that he had right after the Masters, he kind of it felt like he didn't show up for, right? That the PGA Championship hit and he kind of wasn't into it.
Yeah.
And the reality is he's been playing as good a golf as he's played all year long. And
he has 3 wins this year. It's not just the Masters. He has 3 wins.
Yes, and
7 top tens.
Yeah. So
he's second on the FedEx standings.
I told you too. He's just behind Scheffler in the money, but he's actually played 3 tournaments fewer than Scotty Scheffler has, and so Scheffler's won more money by just a little bit, and Rory's actually playing really, really good golf. So
no matter what we say about Rory, look at that number.
Official money that he's won on tour since he's become a pro, 106
in 15
million.
years.
106 million
in 15 years.
9-figure deal. Imagine at the beginning of your career in 2010 signing a 15-year, $110 million deal just in winnings, because there's also the
endorsements.
There's also the endorsements that come with that. I think golf has an insane amount of money that just rolls in to those dudes who are wearing the NetJets shirts and the Titleist gear and whatever. So anyway, bottom line is, Tony, can he make a move? Because it feels like he's had tournaments like this year. I'm glad to see that he's playing well, because the knock on Tony has been that he actually he was in a bad spot at the beginning of the season, and he's actually done pretty darn well this year. And if he gets a nice top 10 finish, he's going to get that exemption at the Masters for next year, and that's what you want. You just want to keep being able to pile up moments where you can keep playing in these majors, keep putting yourself in a spot to be able to win this thing, or to at least be in the conversation before the weekend hits. And so we'll keep our eyes on that one, and we'll see if we can make sure that we get the updates. Of course, as of next week, Sunday obviously you'll get your final go at what this thing's going to look like, and you're going to see who the champion's going to be. If Scotty Scheffler wins this Open Championship, has he won an Open?
No, this is
the only complete. This would be the Grand Slam.
He's never won the Open Championship.
Yeah, seems fitting. So we'll see if in a year where Rory finishes with the Masters to get his career Grand Slam, for Scotty to be able to do it. How about a year where 2 guys in golf finish their career Grand Slams, and Scotty's doing it before the age of 30? Pretty darn cool. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We're at the Warehouse, 1825 South, 300 West. When we come back, we're going to chat with Tom Curl. We're going to land some mattresses during the break to kind of get a vibe on some feels on these things. That's what you do, by the way. You come in and test it out. Come in and take a look at them. Come in and sit on the couches. We're on a beautiful sectional right here. Frankly, I feel like we don't deserve to sit on such a nice sectional. I'm like, you put the radio guys on this thing, but beautiful sectional. Come in. Best deals that the Warehouse has ever done, because it all has to go. It's a going out of business sale, never to be forgotten. Check it out, 1825 South, 300 West. We'll come back. We've got our Would You Rather right around the corner, a Friday edition, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real-life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
We do have some tickets to give away. It's a free ticket Friday. We love doing free ticket Fridays. And if you're listening right now and you're calling number 12, we got some tickets for you. 801-575-ZONE. And don't do the thing. What we've had people call up and they go, "What tickets am I winning?" Oh yeah, I won. What am I going to? Well, today it's for the Dierks Bentley concert at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater on July 31st. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-9663. 801-575-ZONE. JJ, we've got a Would You Rather here. I've got a couple things. I was just thinking about T.J. Watt. I love how his brother JJ, who was well paid during his time as a how many times was he Defensive Player of the Year? Twice.
J.J. Watt was 3.
Three times.
Correct.
So
TJ's been once.
Right, and it's more recent, so the landscape of the money side of things is really crazy. Like, JJ had a heck of a career. I bet you would say that he'd have just as good of a career in terms of like production. But he also played for the Texans. Did he play for the Cardinals for a second?
For a year, yeah, he did.
So
He won 3 Defensive Player of the Years in a 4-year span from 2012 to 2015. He's tied with Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald for the most Player of the Year awards in NFL history.
Okay, J.J. Watt. Don't look at it. What was J.J. Watt's career earnings, do you think?
Oh, gosh, $100 million?
Very close. $129 million.
I was not close.
But that was over 12 seasons.
Yeah.
His brother just signed a deal to get $41 million a year over the next 3 seasons. He signed a contract that was larger than the career earnings of his older brother.
That's crazy.
I'm not saying older brother like from a long, long time. So whose career would you rather have? J.J. Watt 3 times. Let's say that T.J. never wins Defensive Player of the Year again. He's got 1 Defensive Player of the Year award, but he's getting paid more. J.J. Watt's career or T.J. Watt's career?
Oh, man, that's really tough. Both. Is T.J. Watt on a Hall of Fame track? J.J. is going to be a Hall of Famer. You are one of.
T.J.'s going to, too. Come on.
That's what I'm asking. Because there's a lot of similarities, other than T.J. not having as many Defensive Player of the Year awards. But J.J., I think T.J.'s won more playoff games, right? But not by many.
Yeah.
But actually, when's the last time the Steelers won a playoff game? Maybe T.J. hasn't won a playoff game.
I don't think he has.
So does that mean both of those brothers never won a playoff game? Then you probably take the money, right?
Then you go to the money. So then you go second tier. How much did they win?
But who was the better player?
How much did they get?
Who would you say was the better player?
J.J., I don't know if their size is different. J.J. feels bigger, right?
Yes.
T.J.
But I actually think J.J. lifted and bulked up a little too much, and he regrets it because I think
he was a bigger body.
It cost him a year or 2 or 3, and I think T.J.'s been wiser with that, and I'm sure his brother talked to him about it. It's like, you don't have to be as big as I was.
I'd want to be dominant on a Steelers defense hands down more than I would want to be dominant on a Texans defense, too. Think about how classic.
Well, there's a lot more cachet with being a Steeler than there
because
is
then they
a
go
Texan.
because at the end of his career they're going to go, here's your all-time Steelers team. You're going to be mentioned in the same conversation as Mean Joe Green.
That's pretty.
It's going to be you and Mean Joe Green.
When it comes,
and then the Texans are going to go J.J. Watt and
you're it.
Some other guys.
That's it.
Right.
Well, they got some young guys on that team now that I think will be in that conversation by the time it's done.
I think I'd take TJ's career over JJ's.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I would pick JJ.
Because of the 3-time win?
Just the prestige and what he accomplished, the 3-time win. He's only one of 3 NFL players to ever win the Defensive Player of the Year.
Hold on.
3 times.
JJ married a high-level professional soccer player, too.
That, too.
Former BYU player, right?
No, she played in North Carolina, but she's from Utah. She played at Alta High School.
That's right, Alta. Yeah, I still take
Kalia Ohai.
Ohai.
That's
for
her last name.
They're saying hello.
Now what?
I thought somebody walked in. I heard the
Kalia
ding.
Watt.
I heard the ding walk in, and I thought you were saying hello to somebody. Oh, hi.
I'm saying hi to the inflatable yellow guy out in front who's doing a marvelous job today.
1825 South, 300 West in Salt Lake. We'll take the break here. We'll come back. We've got more around the corner. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.